and gentlemen, we are back. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We are back. A lot of recording mix-ups. Hey man, it's on me. But Matt, you know my catchphrase. We move. And we move to Italia, to the boot. Calcio has returned. Week 1. Said my piece, Corsi. I said my piece.
Oh,
Matt, talk to me, man. Let's hear it.
I'm just happy for it to be back. I mean, I'm literally going to celebrate next week. I'm going over to Cafe dello Sport in the North End. I'm going to sit outside like an old head and drink an espresso. I'm going to go in and watch Juventus Bologna at 12:30. It's just that's the best part about calcio. It's the best part about sport in general, I think, is just like it's bringing people together.
Mhm.
It's of course we love to talk about what happened. We love to analyze what happened. We love to guess, make educated guesses on what's going to happen next. Um, we have our favorite players. We all have banter. The beauty of it is sharing it with each other. And that's one thing of just being an Italian football fan, I've always really appreciated is just like being able to have that kind of culture instilled in me as a soccer fan. And now the league is really getting back to what I think could be not its old heights, but certainly the number 2 league in the world. I think if you look at this year, and this first week, Napoli and Inter started off with 2 pretty simple wins against opponents they should have beaten. I have them as the 2 favorites for the Scudetto for different reasons. Juventus looked really solid. AC Milan looked really solid. Everybody has their own little weaknesses that you could point out, and we'll dissect as we go kind of game by game here. And then Roma and Lazio with some crazy games. Fiorentina dominated, put 4 goals on Genoa. There's just a lot of storylines already in the first week, and we just got started. So very, very excited for this Serie A season.
So, Matt, to talk about how you said you have Inter and Napoli as the 2 favorites, you know, I made a pretty bold move by putting Napoli at 5 in my
Oh,
predictions.
I can't
And
believe that. I can't believe you think that with Osimhen and Kavara are arguably the 2 best players in the league last year coming back. Do you think is Kim that good? Maybe, but
I just wanted, you got to go bold.
I get you. I get you.
Losing Spalletti. I mean, we don't know. They went 1-0 down to Lecce. I thought I was cooking up a little bit. But yeah, no. But I have
Frosinone, Lecce won, bro. Lecce
Lecce
beat
beat Lazio.
Lazio.
Lecce beat Lazio. Frosinone, excuse me. Frosinone, by the way, who Napoli just loaned Walid Shedira from Morocco. How did he get that move to Napoli is insane. We have a joke in my family. He put out one of the most, every match he played in the World Cup was a stinker. It was insane. We were sitting here. My mom, who's Moroccan, she was like, he ate too much couscous. Like he was so bad. How did he get the move to Napoli? I have no idea.
Hey, don't
But
question their scouting, man. I mean, I
that's
know we got Gintoli, but I'm sure they still have some good people over there. Like, can't question their scouting the last couple of years.
that is very true. But yeah, dude. I mean, it's Oshiman, man. I mean, this guy is different
That's
gravy.
unbelievable, bro.
Yeah. But when I picked my team, my surprise team to finish 4th instead of Napoli in the top 4, the guys out of Bergamo, Gasparini's men, they somehow, some way, got that Belgian lanky man to score a goal.
And did you
Charles
see
de
it?
Ketelaere. I didn't see the goal, but I
Okay,
saw
just
your text.
it literally was so funny because he'd missed 2 pretty good opportunities at the beginning, and everyone's here we go, CDK's cursed. And then when he scored, I at first thought it was Scamacca that scored off the cross, but it was him, and it was the keeper almost fucking saved it. Like
Mhm.
it maybe just crossed the line, like couple inches over the line. You literally need a goal line technology to tell you that CDK scored, but good for him. Watch him cook this year.
Dude, just saying, man. Remember Lookman last year, how dirty he was? They got Coop Miners in the midfield. They did just lose Demiral to Al Ahly, by the way, which is insane.
Insane
But
move. What
yeah,
the hell
insane
happened
move.
with that? Yeah, God, sorry.
And especially for you, because he was starting for y'all.
I thought he was going to be a great player. I mean, go back to the days when I thought Matthijs de Ligt and Mary Demiral were the future backline of Juventus. Those days didn't last too long, but it's just, I mean, we could probably spend a whole episode breaking down every single Saudi move and then breaking down like where else could this player have gone, right? And you probably would have seen a lot of really good players going to other really big teams taking on new challenges. Instead, they're making bank at an unprecedented level, and you can't blame them. Like, how am I supposed to sit here and be like, he shouldn't have done that? Like, fucking idiot. Like, he's gonna live like a king for 2 fucking years, and then if they want to, they can come back to Europe. They still stay in shape. Clearly, I mean, sounds crazy, but the league is going to be competitive enough, at least when you're playing against the top teams, where it's kind of it's kind of feasible to think you could transition from making your money in the Saudi league to going back and playing in Europe too. So look out for that. Point being though, I let's not go the Saudi route today because I could probably spend like 2 hours talking about this.
So, like you said earlier, bro, Inter, Napoli, both, casual wins, beating their opponents. But I want to talk about your team
Yes,
from
sir.
Turin, the Bianconeri, Juve. What a performance!
Really happy with that, man. Yeah.
Is Allegri cooking? What's going on, Matt?
Since you sent me that video that I posted right on my Twitter account, I think he's been cooking. I mean, if you look at the way the team is set up this year, my biggest complaint about Juventus in the previous seasons, and there was a lot to complain about, but if we were going to go with three at the back, you need really good wing backs. And we had some of the worst. I like Kostic a lot, but he's a super, super direct player, super predictable. You really know what he's going to do. He's going to go up and down that wing. He's going to try and get a cross in every opportunity that he can. Like, he's not really, he doesn't have like great feet. He's not great at ball progression. But now you bring in Cambiaso, who's pretty good with the ball at his feet, good at getting out of tight spaces, a really good passer. He played a little bit of an inverted fullback yesterday. And then on the opposite, and he was amazing. He was arguably, beside Chiesa, the best player in the game. Opposite side, you got Tim Weah, who is way more composed and way like he does a good job of playing to the tactics, right? If you watch him yesterday, that run he made when Danilo launched him, right? And then ultimately played it back into Rabiot, and then we got that goal that Chiesa set up for Cambiaso to cross to Rabiot. That was all about him and his but he had been patient to that point. He hadn't done a lot of that in the game. He stayed super composed. And I actually watched yesterday's game and I thought, wow, Tim Way is going to be a weapon because he's smart enough to know what he has to do and when he has to do it. If you look at the previous games, the preseason games, he was flying. And it fit more the situation, right? Most of the game, the situations and the numerical advantages they got were more down to the left side. I don't really know how. I don't know if they know Chiesa plays down that side. Again, Udinese is not a great team. I don't want to overhype this too much. Even like yesterday, their best player, Samardzic, came off the bench and he was creating chances as soon as he got in there out of nothing because nobody was really doing anything well for Udinese. Their attacking movements were all about just like setting up a long shot. I really couldn't understand what was going on. Beto obviously got shut down. But even if I'm not overreacting, like that whole team played really well. Like you saw Rabiot, literally just an exact continuation of what he did last year. Locatelli looks really comfortable in this regista role.
Very, very.
Right? Very comfortable. And it makes a lot of sense. He's a good defensive player. His passing range is awesome. He's always trying to look for the forward pass. And to be a really competent six in the today's day and age, you do need to look for that forward pass. Right? Like you can't just be back passing. You can't be clearing it all the time. You need to be able to play through the lines. He's brilliant at that. I think once we get Pogba back in that midfield of Locatelli, Rabiot, Pogba could be truly something very special. And it's just beautiful to see Chiesa and Vlahovic still on this team after the bullshit offseason that we had to deal with. Imagining both of them potentially, or even one of them having to leave really would have been tough. So I was super happy yesterday. That's my overall takeaway from it. I don't like to go too crazy because in the end of the day, it really is just one game. But as a Juve fan, I just couldn't have been happier with what I saw.
And especially for you, bro, because those are your guys, bro, Chiesa and Vlahovic. And to see them score, and especially Vlahovic, who after last year definitely needs that confidence boost. I mean, Juve fans probably foaming at the mouth thinking about Pogba coming back to this midfield. I mean, that's beautiful.
It's beautiful. You got to appreciate in today's day and age, especially like we were just kind of alluding to the Saudi piece. Like, there's more than that in today's day and age, man. Like, loyalty is rare, and Chiesa and Vlahovic had opportunities to leave. Like,
Mm-hmm.
let's just call a fact. Like, it's a fact, right? Like, they had the opportunity to leave if they wanted to. They want to say. So, how as a club can you not value that when such talented young players want to be like the pillars that you build your club on? Like, if you don't value that, then we're truly a dead club. But clearly not. Well, knock on wood. I don't think we are. And I was, like I said, so happy for both of them yesterday, just from a confidence perspective and eye test as far as like how I watched them play. They both were really, really positive throughout the entire match.
Chiesa looked very explosive. Vlahovic strong on the ball. Looked like he knew what he wanted to do and got it done. But back to what you said about loyalty, Vlahovic honestly should be wearing the number 9 for Chelsea right now.
I know.
If he
He
really
would.
wanted to,
He
they were going
wanted
to
to
get it
go. He
done.
would be doing it. Yeah.
But they wanted to stay here. They want to get their place, even with no Europe. And that's why I genuinely think this Juve team, if they are healthy, they're top two. They just are.
Yeah.
I have them at 2. I have Milan at 3, and then I have Inter winning. But I mean, I really do love this team. You know me, my favorite Juve player looks like he's on his way out, man. Looks like he's on his way out. Moise Ken linked with Shira tweeted today. Fulham and Sevilla both inquired about his status. He's been linked with Roma and Milan lately too. I would love to see him make the either the Roma or Milan move rather than Sevilla or Fulham.
I'm with you.
I just don't know where he fits in Italy in those two teams because Milan clearly just spent so much money on their attack just this window. Not so much money, but they got Chukwueze, they got Okafor, they have Giroud, they have Leao, they have Pulisic.
Right.
Maybe
They don't need him. No, they don't. Yeah, they don't need to spend that kind of money on him.
maybe a backup to Giroud, if anything. And then now you see that Duvan Zapata is finalizing a move to Roma. So where would Moise fit in that? Especially how Belotti played this week. We'll actually get to that as well.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what happens to Moise, but we move to that Roma game. First of all, Antonio Candreva, man, what the hell?
Dude, how does he keep doing it? And if you really look back every year, look at like Serie A top 20 goals. I
Mm-hmm.
swear to God, he's a minimum going to be in there once every year for the past 5, 6 years. I mean, the guy's he looks as good as he was when he was starting for Italy back in the day, which was it's a low period for the Italian national team, but like guy's a baller. I mean, the first goal was class finish too. The second goal was like fucking.
Yeah. If I was Massimo and I'm sitting there watching, I would just throw my just give. It's like, what can you do?
I would have done that after Bellotti's first goal was called off. That
Oh yeah.
ball, who was I don't know why I'm tripping here. Number 4 for Roma. He sent in an absolutely perfect pass.
Am I tripping? Is it not Cristante? Let me
Might
see.
be. It might be.
Let's see.
He was playing. He played it in from a pretty wide position. Like he was close to
Yeah,
midfield.
it's Cristante.
It
It's
was
Cristante.
Cristante. I mean, dude, beautiful. And then like Belotti just like totally changed direction, took the
Mhm.
ball down with his with his right foot, and like dragged it just to set up that second touch. Amazing finish. And then that second goal, it was the second goal that he had scored, but the first goal they called onside pretty much did the exact same thing. That was fucking nasty.
Yeah.
And then
Hey,
getting a header at the
about
end.
26 goals? Like literally what, 4 years ago, 5 years ago?
Belotti, one of those years for Torino.
Yeah.
I think
He was a top striker. Like people were like, oh, he's gonna make his big move. It's gonna happen. And then he kind of sat there and waited a little bit and he kind of overstayed his time, I guess, in Turin.
No, that's well said. 113 goals in 251 games. In his last season, he had 8 goals in 23 games. The season before that, 13 goals in 36 games. And if you look before that, like he did, you nailed it. He scored 26 goals in one Serie A season. Like he should have just moved when the momentum was with him. I agree.
But hey, Massimo might be cooking with that 15 goal prediction for Belotti. The way he looked, at least that last game, looked really good. But I mean, I don't know what else. What else you have to say about Roma, man? I have them finishing, unfortunately, sixth.
I
But
think
what?
I agree with you. Now, I think the only thing I have to say is that Jose Mourinho's teams are known for being tough defensive teams. I don't think this team can be a tough defensive team. Like even if you look at that first goal yesterday, like
Mhm.
Smalling got his ass beat.
Yeah,
And he's supposed to be the rock of that
yeah.
back line. Like Mancini, I've always been like, 1 minute I like him, the next minute I'm like, this guy's a knockoff Materazzi. Like he wishes he was like I'm just yeah, right. Like I'm not getting a good vibe off of him, and then they have to figure out that other center back spot. I don't really know who else they have in there.
They had a Llorente playing there. So
Right, and is he going to start the rest of the way? I don't think
I mean,
so. I think
first of all,
Mancini and Smalling are glued in, right? But
Mancini for me is a Cuti Romero like regen. Like he's the yellow
yeah,
card
that's
marking.
better.
Like
Yeah,
I mean, it's good to have those guys in your team, but are you counting on Mancini to give you a constant 7.5, 8 out of 10? I don't think it's gonna happen, genuinely. But Evan Endika, unused sub. So I
that's
mean,
true. Oh my
I
god,
thought he
I almost forgot about that.
exactly. I thought he was gonna slot in and start getting games immediately. Maybe Jose is trying to ease him into the side, but yeah, unused sub when he did play Paredes and Renato Sanch, and but so I don't know, man. Why is Evan Ndika not playing?
I don't know. I mean, it's not for me to say. Like, who knows how he did in training when he got up when he once he made the move over there. But I mean, he had been playing in the back three on the left side with Eintracht Frankfurt. I thought it was a perfect move.
Mhm.
He, Jose knows best. I'll leave it up to him. Last season, I was like, guy's a donkey. Like he's no better than Allegri at this point. Like he's just not evolving. And then they ripped it all the way to the Europa League final. So I can't really say anything. I agree with you though. I think they're going to finish in sixth. Like I do like on paper once they all start playing together. Cristante, who I think is not a bad player at all. Um, Renato Sanchez and Alwar, who looked really good. That was my actually definitely want to mention that he did look really good for his debut. And I expect him to be a really good player. Like a couple of years ago, Juventus was looking into getting him from Lyon.
Madrid were linked with him, bro.
A lot of
Madrid.
yeah, no, I expect him to be a pretty solid player. Um, but in the end, if you look at the best teams, like we mentioned, like Inter and Napoli are going to be really good. AC Milan, you mentioned they spent a lot of money. They sold a pretty important
Yeah, they
player
sold.
to do that, right? And so now they brought in, but to their credit, right? Like it's great moves. Like Rangers looks phenomenal. And like
Mhm.
he actually looks like he could be potentially the signing of the season. Ruben Loftus Cheek, Chukwueze, like these are all decent value guys, and they're guys with a future too. So I love what they're building over there. And I think it's going to be tough for a team like Roma to unseat them. I think it's going to be tough for Roma to play better than what I saw from Fiorentina. I know it was only Genoa, but man, dude, they look really good. Like Giacomo Bonaventura, two
Mhm.
goals and an assist. Um, they have now like two elite left backs. They got Parisi, and last game, I think what's his face got the first goal, and it was literally what's his face. Sorry, a respect to Cristiano Biraghi, but the first goal that he scored yesterday was unbelievable. So I
Dude.
just think this is what the chemistry, the environment that you get when you have a great coach.
Mhm.
Because if you look at none of these players are like truly that special, and Vincenzo Italiano is clearly the real deal.
Dude, Bonaventura is like Candreva, it's just like City A boogeyman. It's like this guy just doesn't go away. Like, why does he keep popping up and like putting in performances? I mean,
I
Bonaventura.
know. I mean, Dave, I would thought Dave would have been sick of him, but you'd have seen yesterday. That was a pretty amazing performance by him. And I love it. He's also one of those players, it's a classic Italian guy. Like when he has a good performance, you could just see the joy on his face.
Mhm.
But no, the point has to be made. Like Vincenzo Italiano, I'm looking up his record right now 53, 19, and 33 with 175 goals scored in 105 games for Fiorentina, by the way. definitely a guy to look out for in the future.
Did Ikone make his move to Saudi? Did he leave?
I didn't see him
I
in
really loved him
yesterday. He's a pretty dynamic player. I think he did leave for Saudi. Yeah,
Unfortunate, man.
I know he was really good for them last year too. But Nico Gonzalez, if you look at it, they played Brecolo on the left, and they
Yeah.
played Nico Gonzalez, who's a baller. He took the number 10 for them this season, and he scored in the opener as well. They have some pretty good attacking talent
Also,
actually.
I forgot Liverpool legend Artur Melo.
Artur, yeah,
That
bro, that's our boy.
dude, he's
Look good.
only 27.
A lot of people were saying he's looked really good. And from what I saw yesterday, he did actually look really good. I
You
am
know,
for me to say that too, because I really was not a fan.
do you know we paid Juve a 3 million euro loan fee and he played 13 minutes for us?
Yeah, but you paid €3 million loan fee for a player who's on 6.5 million wages. So the other way to phrase it is that we lost $3.5 million so that he could play a couple minutes in Liverpool.
I would never understand that swap deal for the rest of my life. Why? Pjanic, Artur, why?
We probably don't need to get into that, but like any any Juve fan knows Pjanic and knows what Pjanic did for the club and how
Mhm.
consistently good he was. To have swapped him with Artur, I mean, it's not even the same profile. Like, it just didn't make any fucking sense. But as you say, we move.
We move, we
We
move.
got to move fast off this topic.
And yeah, we got to move to first of all Catalonia. Uh Barca, same boat as United, 180 minutes of pretty bad football. What do you
Sorry,
did you hear me? I said, what do
I
you
just
think?
said yeah. I was just gassing you up. Keep
Oh,
talking.
hey, dude. All right,
Let's
let me
go.
get in the bag, dude. The two games that Barca have played, which is Getafe, and then oh my god, who did they play yesterday? Oh my god,
Eddie's
Cadiz. First of all, these are not like eye popping teams.
not at all.
They were getting physically dominated in both games, and like the physicality looked like it was getting to them. And Xavi, who's by the way watching from the stands, he got a straight red in one of the worst officiating performances I've ever seen in my life. In my life, Ronald Araujo caught the ball like
It was
this on a
crazy.
cross, and he didn't get booked.
I I don't know. That was
What are
one of
you
the
doing?
weirdest. Do you think like what goes through your mind when he's doing that? You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to put myself in his shoes, but like what could have made him just like try and be like, "Yep, like go up for it, like boss." Like
I
I'm
guess listen,
so
from
confused.
for me, like when like for example, if I'm shooting around with the boys or like we're just like kicking about and someone like kicks the ball over, I'll
Yeah,
catch it.
yeah. Well,
But
you
you
don't
know,
want to run for like. Yeah, I get that. That's a different story. Like,
but you're playing in a La Liga game. Anyway, speaking of him, that's another concern I have for Barcelona. He's out for what, several weeks now?
yeah,
So they haven't looked very strong defensively. I mean, yeah, Ferran Torres scored. Ooh. You're counting on Ferran Torres to, retain your title. You just lost arguably your best playmaker in Usman Dembele. Rafinha has a 2 games now ban for the red card that he got. Ansu Fati could be on his way out. He played well, but you did start a 16-year-old at right wing uh, on his
yeah,
Liga debut, Lamine Yamal, who does look very good, by the way. But
yeah. I think for sure. I think the point has to be said that 80 minutes go by. Cadiz probably get the better of the chances. Like again,
yeah,
some of
yeah,
them off of unforced errors from Barcelona. Pretty similar situation to like I know we talked about the Chelsea game earlier where it was like on the from run of play, like it wasn't that awful. It wasn't like they were giving up chances because they were getting beat. They were just kind of beating themselves. Um, I just I worry about this Barcelona team because I see Lewandowski up top, and I don't know what else is there. Like obviously Pedri, Gundogan, two unbelievable midfielders. but like, where are they gonna create chances from this season? You lose Dembele, and you know already that Rafinha is just not, at least for my money, like he's just not the guy. Ferran Torres, you mentioned it, like Ansu Fati, there's some talent there. None of these guys are Barcelona quality players, so I'm picking them to finish third. I picked them to finish third from the start of the year. I think Atletico Madrid, when you look at them top to bottom with the coach that they have, and they just general quality that they have in every phase of the game, like I think they might have a better shot. I feel like it's Lewandowski and the midfield against the world for Barcelona this season.
However, we're talking about these two teams. There's one player who's very close to getting his move, and that is Joao Felix. He is possibly going to Barcelona.
True.
If that
How does he
happens,
fit,
who
though?
knows?
So how does he fit? They're going to play him as a winger?
I guess. I
That's
mean,
the thing. We don't even know how he's going to fit. We're talking about a guy who's not stuck to the landing anywhere he's been. And again, some of it you can bring down to like Atletico Madrid. That was a weird move for a player like that to go to a
third most expensive player of all time, or second,
right.
something like that.
You're right. And to go to a place that's about tactics, so it's so heavy about the tactics. You know what I mean? For a player who's like that technically gifted, I didn't really expect that. Would have seen more of a Barcelona type move. It's just like now he's just add him to the list of players that are unpredictable in the worst sense, in the sense you can't predict if they're going to be good or not.
Mm-hmm. And dude, with Memphis Depay playing like this, kind of a more essential role, he's looked really good.
Looks good.
Ever since he came back from Barcelona, has been spot on for Atleti. So, I mean, I hate them. I despise Atletico Madrid so much, but they're playing well. You can't deny it.
That's a good forward partnership to Pi and Griezmann. They complement each other
Sure.
pretty well. Yeah.
So we've talked about Atleti. There's another team, Madrid, that has
Oh, is
won
there?
in a row.
Are you
Is there?
sure?
No, I don't think so. First of all, that team, Madrid, has had two torn ACLs in the span of what, 2 weeks now, to very important players.
Brutal.
Thibaut Courtois out for the year, torn ACL. Eder Militao, first game at Bilbao, out for the season, torn ACL.
Yep.
Chelsea sends over Kepa Arrizabalaga on loan, and Andre Lunin is starting now. We don't know if Kepa's going to get in the side. They've gone on record saying they will not be getting another center back. They're going to rock out with. They recently called what's his name, Marvel or Marvin, something like that. And then they have obviously Rudiger, Alaba, and Nacho. So that's
Yeah,
who they're
I
going
just
to go
think
with.
Alaba, Rudiger, that's enough to win you La Liga. Like Nacho can play as a center back, right? When they need him to. That's enough to win you La Liga with the attacking talent they have. Like, yeah, man, they're gonna win. They're gonna win the league because their midfield is Modric, Chouameni, Cruz, or Valverde, and then Bellingham is the 10. Or Camavinga might get thrown in there as well. Like, it's
I
just
don't
too,
think I can go anywhere.
yeah, right. Like, it's just too much. So and they're hands down the team in La Liga that has like the most talent, the most shit figured out. They still are nowhere near like the levels I'm assuming they're going to be next season. Like they're riding with Carvajal for now, and they're going with like basically whoever at left back. They're going to have Davies at one point. Like they're
Yeah,
going to,
they're playing Fran Garcia, who's like what, 20, 21 right now at left
yeah.
back.
No,
So
and credit to him, right? But like he's not going to be there next year.
yeah,
It's
they're gonna get Fonzie for sure. That's
Yeah,
gonna
for sure, right? And like think about that team then. Like and
him
then
and Vinny on one wing is insane.
it's too much to account for. So um La Liga is going to be pretty interesting this year. I don't expect Real Madrid to do what they typically do in the Champions League, except those are the famous last words of literally everybody for the past 10 whatever years at this point. Yeah, 10 years is probably accurate at this point. But yeah, man, I don't expect them personally to do what they normally do in the Champions League. I think they'll win La Liga. I don't know if Barcelona will do much. in Europe. I don't know if they're going to have a great year. I think Atletico Madrid could have a really standout year among the top teams. And don't count out Sevilla. They played Manchester City pretty tough in that Super Cup game, and they were amazing against Juventus. Like they were way more hungry. They clearly had more ideas on how they were going to get goals. Um, Credit to that coach there too, because I think he just only recently joined them.
Yeah, but they're losing players now, Sevilla. And the city is possibly on his way to West Ham, which I actually forgot to mention. Can you imagine Air in the city with James Ward-Prowse corners? That's ridiculous to think
Dude,
about.
yeah, he's a hoss in the air. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they just lost another Moroccan, Yassine Bonu. He's gone. He went Saudi. Montiel just went to
You're right. They are
non.
losing players.
Alex Diaz went to Saudi, even though he was only on loan. I mean, they still have Rakitic. They still have, the core, I guess. But I think, yeah, you're right. Madrid is just gonna. I think they're gonna not run away. I think they win the league by at least 8 points.
Agreed, bro. Agreed. They're very good.
And for the final segment of the weekly roundup with Yanni and Matt, three things that we want to see this week. Matt, I'm gonna let you go first. Let
Yeah,
it rip.
thank you. I'm excited to do this every week. Then we can get called out on our bullshit, but or we can get made fun of. But one thing I said I wanted to see, and I actually unfortunately said it earlier. I don't think Newcastle can, and I don't think they will give Liverpool the same respect they gave Manchester City. I think that's going to be a really high quality end to end game, and I need to see that. I need to see Newcastle take that approach. I got to see Brighton continue like this. Tougher test in West Ham. Again, another thing we talked about. Like it is going to be interesting seeing a team like West Ham that's going to take that low block, see how they break them down. It's a different style of team that they played so far. I think they'll be able to do it. And then I got to see Vlahovic score 2 goals from open play to shut up these old heads in Italy that drink a little too much espresso and talk too much to the media. I mean, what is the point of talking so much shit on Vlahovic? Okay, he's the kind of striker that thrives the most when he's moving and he's
Mhm.
moving with the other forwards. Like you gotta get that's how you gotta play him if you want to have him on the team. You chose as if you're Max Allegri to pay 70, 80 million euros from Fiorentina to bring him in here. Clearly you thought you could use those abilities. If you want a hold up player, a guy that's not going to move, a guy that's going to play in the box like Lukaku, you should have gotten him, but you didn't. So people need to start respecting this kid. He loves Juventus. It's so clear. I don't know what more he needs to do to prove that. And I got to see him score 2 goals from the home crowd to shut up these annoying ass old people in Italy.
Before I state mine, I get that same vibe from the Dutch pundits. All the old retired
Oh,
Dutch pundits are so miserable pieces of mierda. I despise them.
they
They
wish they
talk,
were in the past, bro. That's
dude,
all
they
it
talk
is.
so much shit. Like, bro, I get it. You were like pretty good at football, but Rafael van der Vaart, your legacy will never touch Virgil van Dijk's.
I,
Over here talking on his name. What?
I know, dude.
Don't even touch Jorginho Wijnaldum's.
Literally, what's the point for a player like that to be talking shit too? He's just bored. He was overrated as hell too. But
It,
that's
it,
a
it,
story for another day.
it definitely is. It definitely is. But my three, I kind of got 2-1 for the first one. We kind of talked about this earlier. Liverpool need a 6, and I want Darwin to start. That's my 2-1 for the first one. It's so apparent. We did a lot better this game against Bournemouth in terms of kind of keeping the middle of the park like covered and with Endo coming in. But he cannot be the last signing of the window. He just can't. There's no knock on him. He's a warrior. I think he'll do great for us. But we need at least at least another signing. I would love for 2 more. That's me maybe being greedy, but I would love another midfielder and a left center back. That's just my wants. Will we get that? I don't know. We
I
showed
don't
we
know.
have a million to spend, so why don't we spend it? But hey, maybe it's too much logic for FSG to comprehend.
Maybe
Uh,
too much logic for sure.
maybe too much. My number two thing I want to see. I want to keep seeing Jude Bellingham score goals. This guy has 3 goals in 2 games. I told the boys in the group chat, Matt can vouch for this, which is not a crazy take, but I said it. I said it. There is no way that Jude Bellingham can fail as the Madrid's number 10. You have Chouameni, backing you as a six. The two eights is possibly either Modric, Cruz, Camavinga, Valverde, Modric. This you have so much quality behind you, and you have free roam. You can do whatever. You're getting in the box. You're diving for headers. You're controlling the ball while the team is attacking. You're looking for balls to Vinny. Tony Cruz gave you a beautiful cross to score last game. You cannot fail as a 10 as long as this kid stays healthy. Matt, I'm saying it right now. Give me at least 12 goals for Jude Bellingham.
I absolutely agree with you,
Yeah,
bro.
if he stays healthy the whole year, 12 goals easily.
You know,
Strictly.
we were saying that this show is going to be great for us to do because we don't always see eye to eye. I think we've agreed on
Yeah, I think we've agreed on everything.
in this episode. I mean, it's what happens. It's early in the season. Things kind of tend to play out more how you'd expect them to play out at the beginning of the season. Teams have got to develop. I couldn't agree more on Jude Bellingham. Not only is he just the complete midfielder, like with no weaknesses as it is, playing in that more advanced role with all the help that you just described and the position he's in. It's incredible. Being coached by Carlo Ancelotti, it's Real Madrid. You know he'll have a great coach again next year. Like he's not going to fail. I couldn't agree. Everyone knows. I think everyone at this point knows Jude's not going to fail. And even he said recently, like this week, that he is so much better of a player right now than he was at Borussia Dortmund. And if you think about it, it's not just like he didn't learn how to pass better. He didn't learn how to score goals. Like it's just he's loving his role, he's comfortable, and he's confident. That's pretty cool. And it's pretty scary for everyone else.
I said this in the chat this week. Imagine an England diamond midfield of Declan Rice at the 6, Trent, either Ward Prowse or someone else at the other 8. Probably Ward Prowse. Jude at the 10. That's disgusting.
That's disgusting.
That's a disgusting.
Every single one of those guys, like in those specific roles, are like the best, as good as it gets. Ward Prowse isn't he's not like a world class player, but he's class. He's
world class set piece taker. Imagine
he's the best of the best of the best. How is he so good? Like I'll never understand that. He's a good player, but how is a player that's like a good player known for having passing quality, but he's just like the best set piece taker of the whole world?
It's such a niche thing too. Like, has that term ever been said before? And it's like he's just the best set piece taker. Everyone knows. Everyone knows. It's just set piece. It's Ward Prowse. Imagine Trent and Ward Prowse standing over a free kick with the game on the line. You'd feel you're in pretty good hands.
The goalie would cry.
My third and final one is can we see PSG win some games? It's 2 draws for the first 2 games. Get it's a new era, Gonzalo Ramos starting at striker now. Mbappe and Dembele came off the bench last game. I want to see both of them start, and I want to see both of them score. You know how I felt about Ousmane Dembele. That's been my guy.
Good boy, yep.
Days. I want to see him drop at least 15 goals and assists in not each, but combined, at least in Ligue 1. And is this? I mean, we say this every year, but like, is this the time where PSG finally makes a run? I know they made it with Neymar and Mbappe 2020. But there was only one leg. There was only one leg knockout games. But dude, is this the year? Can they finally
coach? Their defense is probably as good as it's been. Skriniar, Lucas Hernandez, Marquinhos. That's a serious back 3.
Kimpembe's still hurt. He's not even playing yet.
I think there's too many issues around. Too much change. Too many issues around the club for them to go all the way. Like I think even Mbappe's accepted that he's never going to win the Champions League with PSG, and he doesn't care because he's going to the team that wins the Champions League. So,
yeah, who the hell knows what's going on with that? I would also P.S. I would also like to see Ethan Mbappe play. I want to see this.
Yeah, right.
Football. So I definitely want to see that.
Soon enough, though, for sure.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to say before we wrap it up?
No, I got nothing. This was fun for a first episode. I'm sure I'll get even sharper. I think I love the way you run the podcast. I seen the podcast before and I was excited when you wanted to start doing these. So I had fun doing it. Excited to keep it rolling.
Listen, man, God willing, I'll come back to you on next Monday, fresh off of a Darwizzy goal and win. But we shall see, my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Yanni Grigidis, also known as Yanni Sports Nation. That's Matt Prisco. The weekly roundup with Yanni and Matt. The first episode has come to a conclusion. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.